Would it surprise you if I were to tell you that 99% of you have been programmed not to become a diamond? Programmed not to become a diamond. And that programming is affecting every aspect of your growth, every day of your career. And if you don't change the programming, you can't change the result. And some of you are working on results and you're not working on the programming. Today, we're going to talk about the programming. Now, if you had a computer and you typed a letter in the computer and there was and then you printed it out, here comes the letter, and you look and you see there's a typo on the letter. There's a mistake. Okay, you take the eraser and you erase the mistake on the piece of paper. And then you go back to the computer and you push print again. Out comes the same letter and you go, erase even harder. Go back to the computer, hit print again. And get it again and say, there's something wrong with this printer. At some point, you've got to go back and change the programming, change the input to be able to get a better output. Does that make sense? Yes. Now, some of you came here today, and the people who watch Network Marketing Pro sometimes get frustrated with this. Tell me what to do. I'll do it. Right, Tyrone? Yes. Tell me what to do, and I will do it. Tell me what to say. Give me the script. I'll go do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And here's what happens. I'm going to draw something for you. And this chart that I'm going to draw for you, everything I'm going to draw is going to fit on one piece of paper. But if you draw a line in time, and most people are looking to do the activity, learn the activity. And if you learn the activity, I wonder if I can go a little wider. Nope. If you do the activity, then you're going to get what? A result. And if you get the result, then you get to have the lifestyle. That's what they're looking for. Give me the activity, please. I want this so bad. Because why? I want the results. Believe it. And I want the lifestyle. So what's wrong must be in the activity. I must be doing the wrong things. And since I'm doing the wrong things, I'm getting the wrong results. Let me show you what success looks like in network marketing. Success looks like this. If I had to draw it in a graph, it would look something like this. In other words, it just kind of doesn't seem to matter, doesn't seem to matter, doesn't seem to matter, doesn't seem to matter, all of a sudden it matters. That's what success looks like. That's what exponential growth looks like. Let me show you what failure looks like in our business. Doesn't seem to matter, doesn't seem to matter, doesn't seem to matter, doesn't seem to matter. It matters. That's the way both sides work. Okay? So people focus on this, and we're going to come back to this. We're going to talk about activity leading to results, leading to lifestyle. We're going to get you there. But I have to, this is like a tree. This is like, if this is the ground, this is the tree. And in order for the tree to live, what has to be underneath that tree? The roots, the programming. Right? So we have to change that if we're going to change the tree. So, what's before activity? I will tell you what's before activity in my opinion. In my opinion, your attitude is what will drive the activity. If you don't feel like doing it, you're not going to do it. You might do it for a few minutes. You'll get your attitude excited here this weekend, right? And then you'll go out and you'll do the activity for a little while. But if you don't really love it, your attitude's going to drop. Somebody's going to say boo. Your attitude's going to go boo. Right? And then what happens to the activity? Stops, changes, which means the results stop, which means the lifestyle stops. So attitude is just the first layer. I'll draw you the two others. Your thoughts are going to determine your attitude. Your thoughts, what's important to you. And let me tell you what drives your thoughts. And this is why I wanted to talk to you today. It's the most important talk maybe of your entire career. What drives your thoughts is your programming. The programming drives your thoughts. Your thoughts drive your attitude. Your attitude drives your activity. So activity is fourth in line. If you don't get this other stuff right, you can press print all you want. And you're going to keep getting the same error, and same organization blow up that you've had since you started. But if you change one little tiny thing over on the programming side, the impact is monumental. Now, how do you get, what creates your programming? What creates your programming? You've been programmed since the day you were born. All of you have been programmed since the day you were born. You were programmed by your parents, telling you what you could and could not do, could and could not say, could or could not be. Right? Positive or negative? I had a very nurturing, loving family. Very nurturing and loving family. I got programmed well in some areas, and I got programmed terribly in other areas. All with great intentions. So programming from family, programming from friends. Talking all the time, whispering in your ear, trying to lead you in a direction. Having you go with them. Maybe making good decisions, maybe making bad decisions. But I'll tell you, all that has influenced the program. It's the input. Okay? It's the code that makes you work. So, family, friends, education system has told you what's important. And this one has sabotaged more of your success in this room than just about anything else. The education system telling you how to fit into this world. We in this room, we don't go with their code. We go to a completely different code. We lead our own lives. We do things that don't make sense to the people in the education system. Right? Religious leaders also create your input, your programming. What's important? Is it noble to be poor? Those types of things. You know, and I'm not saying that that's all they're going to program. They're going to program good. They're going to program a lot of different things, but it's going to make up your thoughts. It's going to create your kind of mental DNA. That input. Culture. If you grow up in India, is education important? Yeah, very, very important. If you grow up in Thailand, is family important? Very, very important. So culture has an impact on how you think and what you think is important. What you will do and what you won't do. And the media, every day in every way, feeding you, telling you what to think, where to go, what to buy, what to believe in, who not to believe in. You're being inundated with messages every single day from so many different sources, television, radio, print, all of it used to manipulate you into getting you to do something that they want you to do. Okay? So all of this creates your input. Now, it's you receive it three different ways, primarily. Verbally, what you hear. You know, the child by the age of 5 hears no 5 times more than they hear the word yes. They hear the word no 50,000 times. And the word yes, 10,000? I don't know the numbers. I can't remember the numbers exactly. But I know it's 5 times the difference. No, no, you can't do that. Don't go there. That's a boundary. You're outside of the lines. Color inside of the lines. Don't do this and don't do that and watch out for this. And that created the verbal programming, right? Second is modeling, what you see. You're watching other people. And third is all of your experiences. Everything that you've experienced. And what that's meant to you, okay? So you understand, all this stuff has created how your mind thinks. And how you view opportunity, how you view other people, how you view money, how you view success, how you view failure, how you view risk. All of that has been created by all of these different things. Now, it's one of the reasons why associations are so important. The people you spend time with are so important. Because what that will do, the people that you spend time with, is it will slowly help you create a different you. Here's the way I've heard it said, and I believe it to be true. You're going to become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Period. The 5 people you spend the most time with, you're going to become the average of those 5. And if you like what your life is right now, stay with the 5 that you have. If you want a different life, you've got to examine the 5. And I will tell you a secret. You know, the place to be in your 5 is at the bottom of your 5. Because they will pull you up. If you're at the top of the 5, be afraid. Because they will pull you down. If you stay with the 5 and they don't want to grow and you do, be afraid. Because they won't let you go. So, associations are so powerful because it creates the programming in our minds every single day. Now, how do you change? I'm going to give you some information today, and this is going to start a process. It won't finish a process, but it's going to start a process for you. Why do I say watch networkmarketingpro.com every day? It's not an egotistical thing for me. It is the only industry-specific, daily discipline that I could give you that will remind you and start to program you in a positive way for this profession on a daily basis. Whether or not it seems to matter. You know what? It won't matter in one day or a week or a month. But a year from today, you'll be a different person. You will slowly reprogram yourself for success. Now, what do you need to do? If you want to reprogram this to change your thoughts, it's a 4-step process. 1, awareness. You need to raise your awareness and say, what are the issues that are holding me back? Raise your awareness. I'm afraid of making money. Deep down, I've been told so many times that, rich people are evil. I've seen so many movies. I've been told so many times all these different things that, you know what? Maybe that's true. So, awareness of whatever the issues are for you. Awareness of your limiting beliefs about your ability to lead. You might say, I'm not a leader. I might be able to find some people, but I'm not a leader. Well, that's going to hold you back. So, awareness is number 1. 2 is understanding. You understand, okay, this is a very important thing for me. This is a life lesson for me. And here's the thing with life lessons. If you don't learn them, they will repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. Just like hitting the print button and hitting the print button and hitting the print button. It's not the computer's fault and it's not the printer's fault. If you keep hitting the print button and you don't go fix the issue, you're going to be left with that typo in your life forever. But if you become aware, oh, I can go change this. Here's the problem. I understand, oh, when I get a typo, here's what I do. 3rd step. is disassociation with the things that are holding you back. Disassociation with hitting print over and over and over and over when it's not getting you a result. Saying, no, 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 that's not my pattern anymore. That used to be my pattern, it's not anymore. And then step 4, reprogramming. Reprogramming you to be able to have total control of your life. And here's the best place to look. What are the repeating patterns that happen in your life? What are the repeating patterns? I get to this stage, and then this happens. And then I get to that stage again, and then it happens again. And then I get to that stage again, and then it happens again. Okay, this is a pattern. You're going to find patterns in your relationships, patterns in your health, patterns in your network marketing business. And you need to identify the patterns and then go through this 4-step process of awareness, understanding, disassociation, and then reprogramming. If you'll do that, then you can be free. Okay? So, programming is going to shape your thoughts. And here's what I mean by shaping your thoughts. We all have a mental scales. Okay? We take an idea. Somebody says, what do you think of this? We take that idea and we put it on our mental scales. And if it shows up a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10, we don't think it's that important. We don't pay any attention to it. If it shows up a 10, based upon our programming, this is a 10. This is very important. You act on the 10. Okay? And there's no difficulty acting on the 10s. That's easy. Think of the strongest things in your culture. Wherever the culture is, there's many cultures in this room. What are the strongest things in the culture? Those are not difficult to do. It's going against that culture that's difficult, right? The strongest things in the culture are easy to do. They're natural to do. They're no problem to do. Why? Because you've been programmed that this is what will bring happiness, success, security, comfort, belonging. Okay, I'll do it. And it's easy. You might fight it when you're 2 years old, but you probably don't fight it now. Okay, you put it on your mental scales. You weigh it. Okay, this is important. And bam, those thoughts will make your attitude be easy. You'll be excited about doing it. You're happy about doing it. Our family is very family-oriented. So getting together for family, with all of our family all the time, that is not hard. We do that with a good, positive, excited attitude all the time. There's some families in this room that is not your culture. Right? It's like pulling teeth to have those types of interactions. It's just a difference in culture, a difference in thoughts, a difference in programming. Okay? So let me give you a couple things about attitude. Programming leads to thoughts. Thoughts lead to attitude. Feelings. What you think will determine what you feel. Okay? Let me give you 4 things. I borrowed this from Jim Rohn on attitude. How you feel about 4 things will really shape you. How you feel about your past. There's some of you in this room that are just absolutely beating yourselves to death about what you didn't do, the things you haven't performed, the things you haven't lived up to, your unfulfilled promises. You're beating yourself up because maybe you fell short of that mark. And this might be just now, but I'll tell you, if it's a repeating pattern of feeling bad about the past, that's something that you need to reprogram. Here's my opinion. Use the past as a school to learn from. There are no good or bad experiences, in my opinion. Only learning experiences. Right? So you do something and it blows up. You just got to say, what did I learn from this? Okay, I can apply that to better programming for tomorrow. All right? So, how you feel about the past, don't beat yourself up about it. I see so many people inside of our profession that absolutely bludgeon themselves every day. Bam, I'm so bad, I'm so bad, I'm so bad, I'm so bad, I'm stupid, I blew up my group, I wrecked my warm market, I'm such a dummy, I'm such an idiot. True or not true? True. True. You got to just understand. We're all going through a journey together. We're all learning together. We're all trying to find our path together. And you're going to learn some things. You're going to make some mistakes. But so what? No good. No bad experiences. Just learning experiences. When you have success, what did you learn from it? When you have failure, what did you learn from it? That's all you need to worry about. It's one big, huge experiment to find our path. And if you use every experiences to create better programming, then you can have a better future. But if you use all the past experiences to beat yourself up, guess what you have to look forward to again? The same thing. You're going to spend the rest of your life beating yourself up, creating regrets that don't need to be there. Do you hear me? Those regrets don't need to be there. Just take it, learn from it, and let's grow. Okay? So how do you feel about the past? Second, how do you feel about the future? The power of the future is an awesome force. It's amazing. But your vision for your future has to be so strong that it'll pull you through all the obstacles. If you can paint a strong vision for the future, for yourself, you can say, okay, now I can get there. That vision will pull you through. But if it's weak, if you don't have a vision for the future, you just have a vision for today, it doesn't matter what obstacle shows up. It's going to be enough to stop you dead in your tracks. So this is programming. Again, how you feel about the future is really important for your future. Number one, for your group's future. Number two, for the company's future. Number three, maybe your country's future. Number four, how do you feel about that? Third, how you feel about each other is going to create incredible programming. We all need each other. You know, we all have things to bring, and values and skills and stories. I wish we could hear all of your stories. Your story would be amazing. The world needs to hear your story. We all need each other. Each of us need all of us. All of us need each of us. We're all a part of this journey together. So how you feel about that is important. Now, how you think about it, based upon your programming, some of your programming is, those guys are outsiders. They're not our race. So, that will create thoughts when it comes to working together, which will create feelings when it comes to working together. And even though you nod and you smile and you do the activities at the events, it's not going to lead to a global family. It's going to lead for you to a little bit of isolation of just your people, for you, which is a choice. It has nothing to do with reality. It's just a choice. So understand, on the most important of levels, we're all the same. There's a few cultural differences here or there, but we're all the same. If you learn to understand and appreciate each other for what we bring, and our diversity and our differences, you know, we don't need to have the same religious background. We don't need to have the same race. We don't need to be of the same kind of, bunch of teachers or a bunch of doctors or a bunch of whatever. We can have all different kinds of walks of life, all different kinds of ages, and we all have something to bring. Okay? And the fourth thing is how you feel about yourself. How you feel about the past is one. How you feel about the future is two. How you feel about each other is three. Really important, especially as you're building a group. And how you feel about yourself is something that you need to program every day through the books that you're reading and the things that you're listening to and the stuff that you're watching and the classes that you're going to and there's people you're spending time with. That needs to be building up how you feel about you. That programming will lead to your thinking, which will lead to your feeling, which will lead to your activity. You can't shortcut it. So is that good stuff? Yeah? All right, good. So programming leads to thoughts. Thoughts lead to attitude. And attitude leads to activity. Now, we'll get into what you came here for. Please tell me more about the activity. Activity. Let me show you. I showed you what the success chart looks like and the failure chart looks like. Let me give you the best formula for success that I've ever heard. The best formula for success. On this side, on the right-hand side of this graph, the best formula for success is a few simple disciplines practiced every day. A few simple actions practiced every day. A few simple tasks done daily, consistently. That's what will lead you to success inside of this business. A few simple disciplines practiced every day. Now, let me give you the formula for failure. A few errors in judgment repeated every day. A few simple things you could have done and you didn't do. A few calls you could have made and you didn't make. A few meetings you could have had and didn't have. And here's the secret. I will tell you this because our profession fakes people out. And I'll show you how with this graph. Doing the action and not doing the action, the person on this side doing the disciplines, and the person on this side repeating the errors, you can't tell the difference between the two of them sitting in this room. In the last 24 hours, there are some of you that engaged in the disciplines and some of you that repeated some errors in judgment. And you know what? We can't see the difference. Right? So, a person says, okay, and they make 10 phone calls yesterday. And the person on this side doesn't make the 10 phone calls in the last 24 hours. Can you tell the difference between the two? You can't. So it doesn't seem to matter that much. One person does a PBR on this side, and the other person doesn't. One person passes out a tool, the other person doesn't. One person sits down or does a three-way call, the other person doesn't. One person talks to somebody on Skype, the other person doesn't. One person has somebody try the product, the other person doesn't. One person uses the product in front of people, the other person doesn't. You can't tell. So the big fake out is this. Have you ever heard of, if I'll go to work for you for a penny a day, double it every day for the next 30 days, that old story? Right? It's $10 million at the end. But if you put that little formula, 1 penny, then day 2 is 2 pennies, and day 3 is 4 pennies, and then 8 pennies, and then 16 pennies, and 32 pennies, and you put that into a spreadsheet, the graph would look exactly like this. Exactly like this. So those little actions work for a penny, 2 pennies, 4 pennies, 8 pennies, 16 pennies. Doesn't seem to matter that much. But in the end, does every one of those pennies matter? Huge. Take out the first day, and you take out 5 million. Take out the first 2 days, you take out 7.5 million. But down here, a person's just having fun, goofing off, doing nothing. And you get discouraged because you watch the person doing nothing. They might be making more money than you. And they're a goof off. And you're working hard. And you're going, how is this possible? Maybe I should goof off too. Looks like it worked for them. So people, here's the thing. This discipline curve is uncomfortable. And it's hard to do alone. The error curve is really comfortable. Out of every 20 people, 19 of them are down here. One of them's up here. 19 to 1. 5%. Even inside this room, if you're in a row of 20, 19 are down here doing the errors in judgment. 1 up here are doing the disciplines. Does that sound spooky? It's a fact. When all the chandeliers are gone and all the music's done and everybody goes back home, we can tell by next week what you did, actually, in the next 7 days. You want to know the number one thing that will determine that gives you the most clues as far as who's on the error side? 3 things. Blame, justification, and complaining. If you have people who are blaming everybody else and everything else for their problems, they're justifying, well, if I had this, and, well, you don't understand that. Or if they're complaining, you don't know the troubles I've had. You know where they're at. They're where most of the world is. They've been programmed to be there. You know where who programmed them mostly? These other 19. It's lonely being up here, doing meetings for people who don't show up and making the calls when other people aren't making them, and working harder than other people that are working. And working hard for those little pennies and those little tiny groups and rebuilding and trying to change your programming, trying to fix your life alone. While 19 people went to the party and you made the calls. While 19 people took the weekend off and went to the beach and you stayed there and said, no, I'm not going to the beach. There'll be plenty of time for the beach. Now's not one of those times. You know how hard it is to go against peer pressure when everybody else is going to the beach? Hard. That's why people in network marketing are my heroes. Because they go against the stream. They go against the norm. They go against average. And they stand and say, you know what? No. All you fish go that way, I'm going this way. I'm not one of that crowd. I feel sorry for that crowd, but I'm not one of that crowd. I want to change my life. Now, if you don't really pay attention to your programming, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for you to stay strong enough to stay on this discipline path. The programming is everything. Feeding your mind, feeding your spirit, feeding your soul. In every way, in a positive way. And looking for the patterns that are repeating over and over and over and over and over. And find a loved one, somebody who cares about you or a friend, and say, what are my patterns? It's okay, you can tell me. What are my patterns? What are the things that you see me repeat over and over? What's my self-destructive behavior? What is my issues that I need to work on in order to be able to change the programming? And Connie talked about today, don't worry about your weaknesses, just worry about your strengths. That's true. You can get anywhere you want to go with your strengths. However, you've got to go back and fix the typo. You can't just say, well, I want my strengths to fix the typo, and I'm just hitting print over and over and over and over and over and expecting a different result. You have to change your thinking. You understand what I'm saying? This is getting through to you. Yes. This is a very deep message. This is something that will, if you take it as seriously as I do, the next 10 years can be a completely different 10 years for you. But it's the beginning of a journey. It's like a treasure map that can start you down a road. It won't get you all the way there. Like I said, this is 3 hours minimum for me to cover this. But if this can get you thinking in the right way, you can kind of say, oh, that's it. It's not that I didn't have the right script. It's not that I didn't do the right PR. It's not all those different things. Okay? So, back to this. You do the activities over and over and over and over and over and over and over when it doesn't seem to matter. Why would somebody do an error in judgment instead of a discipline? Because it didn't seem to matter. You got away with it. You went to the beach. Nobody noticed. So it's easy to repeat. I'll go to the beach again. Nobody noticed. Yes. Right? Then it's easy to repeat, and guess what happens? You repeat these errors in judgment long enough, and the comfortable becomes uncomfortable. And when it becomes uncomfortable, guess what happens? Well, guess what kicks in? Blame. Justification. Complaining. It's not me. And you turn to the other 19 that were also not willing to do the things that they needed to do. And you said, what happened? And guess what they'll say to you? It's not your fault. Your upline screwed you over so bad. Remember that one time they didn't have products? How could they expect you to succeed? Impossible. Didn't even have translations in the breakout sessions, so you couldn't get the training. It's terrible what those people try to expect from you. Awful. So it makes you feel better about your failure. You're right. Screw those guys. Dumb network marketing stuff. Told me I'd get rich. And then the person up here who's going this journey alone, time after time, day after day, doing the disciplines, talking to the people, doing the meetings, doing the calls, when they didn't feel like it, when it was uncomfortable, when it was no fun, when they were working hard to reprogram themselves, getting around other 5%ers, to encourage them and say, no, stay on the path, buddy. Come on, stay on the path. Don't fall off. Come on. Stay with it. We're on the right track. We're going to do this together. And you will attract to each other. You'll find each other. Then here's my promise to you. The uncomfortable will become comfortable. What hurts today won't hurt tomorrow. It'll become natural, become part of what you do, become part of who you are. And then your job is to do the best you can to keep as many people on this path as possible. Let them know that the uncomfortable will become comfortable. Let them know that programming themselves will get a result. It's not about the scripts, it's about you. It's not about the products, it's about you. It's not about our comp plan or our company, it's about you. You've got patterns that you've got to correct. You have programming that you have to correct. Now, here's the reason why our business is so different. In every other business in the world where you're an employee, you don't have to do that. Because you know what they teach you to do? An action, and repeat that action for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Every once in a while, get a little retraining, and then repeat that action. They want you to be stuck in that programming. They don't want you to be liberated. There's no money in that for you to be liberated. They want you semi-dumb. They want you smart enough to be a function, but not a leader. Unless there's a leadership function inside of the company. Ours is completely different. Completely different. This will be a journey of self-exploration for you, unlike anything you've ever experienced in your life. But I will tell you this, see this path? This is true whether you're in network marketing or not. If you want to give back to the world, guess what? It's this same path. If you want to build a business or build a family or build anything, guess what? It's this same path. Your program is going to lead to your thoughts, it's going to lead to your attitudes, it's going to lead to your activities, it's going to lead to your results, it's going to lead to your lifestyle. Period. Now, why don't they teach this in school? Because they want you semi-stupid. We need accountants to do the accountant job. We need managers to do the manager job. We need customer service to do the customer service job. We just need them to be functions. We don't need them to be people. We need the police officer to do the police officer job. We don't need him to become a leader. Why do we need him to become a leader? We just need him to do his job. So if he's got patterns that he keeps repeating, fine. So long as he does his function, what do we care? So, activities. So, results. What you think determines how you feel. How you feel determines what you do. What you do determines what you get. And what you get determines how you can live. Not how you will live, but how you can live. Okay? And I will tell you that this can work backwards sometimes. It's not always left to right. In other words, if you do the activity long enough, eventually you're going to feel better about it. And that will change your thinking about it. and that will help you to reprogram. Okay? That can work that way. The best way is do an activity, get feedback, no good or bad experiences, just learning experiences. Get feedback. The best way is you get the feedback, kick it into your programming, repeat it over and 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 over every way you possibly can. Get it reinforced every way you possibly can and have it come back through. That's the better way. It's a lot slower, I promise you, because I did the other way. It's a lot slower going to activities, back to attitude, back to thoughts. Because what you do is you go to activity, to attitude, back to activity, to a worse attitude sometimes, right? Which leads to worse activities, and then you end up going back and forth between activity and attitude, which is where most of you are stuck right now. Between activity and attitude, back and forth, which is what wrecks your consistency. It's what keeps you from moving forward. But if you do that long enough and you're committed long enough, then eventually you're going to buckle down and you're going to see the repeating pattern and you're going to say, okay, I got to go back. What is my thinking about that? And how do I need to reprogram myself in order to be able to change? Okay. Results. What I am a student of is results. When it comes to our business, that is the output. That's the print. When they push print, and you get the piece of paper, and you look at the piece of paper, that's how you judge everything that led up to that document in your hand. Does that make sense? So, everything that we have to evaluate is based upon results. So we go do the thing. We get a result. Good or bad, doesn't matter. Then we either repeat the good or we correct the bad for the output again. Results are the name of the game. And then rank advancement is part of the results. Paychecks is part of results. Product stories is part of results. Organizational growth is part of results. Are you back at the next event is part of results. Do you have more people in your organization at the next event? Part of results. What I do and what all professionals do is we measure and measure and measure and measure and measure everything. Results are the name of the game. Then we get to lifestyle. The reason why I talked about lifestyle in the way that I did, I said this gives you the ability to have a lifestyle, but it's a lifestyle of choice. There's a lot of people who have money and no life. How many people do you know that have a lot of money and no life? That's a choice, right? Guess where that comes from? Programming. Or, you know what my programming issue has been, and I've been working on it very, very hard for the last 2 years, is I've repeated a pattern of make a lot of money and not have a lot. Seriously. I have made and spent or lost many, 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 many millions. And that's my pattern. So I could point at all that. You wouldn't believe what happened in the stock market. And you would not believe how this partner screwed me over. And you wouldn't believe what happened with this, and the economy did that. And you know what? Guess what the common denominator of the last 20 years of my career has been? This guy. I have repeated patterns that I am working on a daily basis right now, very hard, to be able to, for the next fortune that comes in, because making money is easy inside of network marketing. You might not believe that, but it is. If you'll commit to the disciplines, there's only a half a dozen. You got to learn how to prospect, okay? Figure it out. It's called talk to people, talk to people, talk to people. Use third-party tools. Do it consistently. Do it long enough. You'll find good people. Okay? There's not a lot to it, guys. Then, getting a person started properly. Okay? How hard is that? Make sure that they do what you did. Talk to people, talk to people, talk to people. Use third-party tools. Jump up and down every once in a while. Get excited. Some will say yes, some will say no. If they say yes, then number 2 to get them started. Right? You want to make sure that they're using their products and they're getting product results. It's not a big skill. You're going to teach that at Harvard? Get people to use the products. We need to have a course. No, it's a decision. Right? Then, learning how to do presentations, that's a skill. All of you could learn that skill in the next 72 hours if the reasons were strong enough. If I were to pay you $100,000 if you could nail the presentation and do it perfectly 72 hours from today, how many would have any doubt that they would nail it? I mean, everybody would nail it. No problem. So it's not about can you, it's just about will you. Then you have to create duplication in your organization, which is finding leaders, teaching them how to find leaders, teaching them how to find leaders, and keeping a system solid, right? I mean, it's a half a dozen skills. It's building for events. It's simple stuff. But that simple stuff will break down if the programming's not solid, right? So it is easy to make money in this profession if you will just work on you. More than everything else. Why do we talk about personal development so much? That's why. I told you I'd get it all on one piece of paper. I lied. You got one piece of paper. On the activity side, I'm going to come back to this for a second. On the activity side, just do it and do it. And do it, and do it, and do it, and do it until the job gets done. Now, if you're doing it wrong, and you're pushing print and the typo's coming out, do it and fix it, and then do it, and do it, and do it, then fix it, then do it, then do it, and just keep going. Right? It's not rocket science for all you big corporate, rock stars in the room. Okay. I'm going to show you one other thing, and then I'm done. Gosh, I wish I had more time. I could spend 8 hours talking about this. We could break down every single one of these aspects, and we could really help to program you guys. But we will do that another time. Okay. Now, there's this line. This line right here. It's called crisis. Crisis. And there's this line between crisis and survival that all of us tend to live between. Right? Some of you in this room are addicted to crisis. The drama of life. You will actually, without even thinking about it, sabotage huge portions of your life just so you get the rush of the crisis and the drama because you're so bored with your existence. So here's what typically happens. As soon as a person is surviving, they start to go, and then they hit crisis. Oh my gosh, we got to get $300 and the whole world's going to fall in. And then what do you do every time that happens? Right back to survival. No problem. Got it. $300. We're okay. And then, oh, we got to pay the phone bill today. Otherwise, I'm going to get my phone turned off. Oh, got to get the phone turned back on. Right? And then, as soon as you get there, oh my gosh, we have to hurry up and we have to get one more person in. Otherwise, we won't qualify at the director level this month. No problem, right? So most of us live in this, pardon my language, shitty existence. This is not a fun place to be. This sucks. Living between survival and crisis and survival and crisis and survival and crisis. Who wants to live there? Here's what I learned. This is where it's crowded. between survival and crisis. Oh, you pass each other along the way. Oh, how's it going? Oh, I'm surviving. How's it going? Well, I'm hanging in there. How you doing? Oh, it's pretty good. How about you? Oh, I just paid that bill. Just figured it out. Oh, how about you? Oh, I just barely qualified. It's amazing. Unbelievable. I just made President's Club. Right? But here's what I learned. There's the same distance between survival and crisis as there is between survival and success. In other words, once you get to survival, if you don't stop there, and if you keep going and get that next $300, even though the world's not going to fall in, then you can get to success. That's the juice of life. Now, it's harder to go to success because the reasons aren't built in. They're not going to turn your phone off. They're not going to, all these other external things aren't there that you've been programmed to respond to. Aren't there. So you have to program yourself that it's important to go beyond survival and to success. And I will tell you, a lot of people go between success, survival. It's a better way to live than between survival and crisis. And then there's another place. And this place is reserved for maybe 10 people in this room. And that's the line between success and significance. And if you go beyond success, because your internal reasons are so strong, you go beyond success because your internal reasons are so strong, you can live between significance and success like few people in the world do. We, in this group that struggle between success and significance, that's where I would consider myself, struggling between success and significance, we feel really bad for this crowded mass, knowing that they are only, literally, listen to me, a few steps away from significance. When they have to make that $500 to get away from crisis and to survival, if they will program themselves properly to take that next 500 and go from survival to success, and then go again from success to significance, within a month, within 3 months, between now and the end of the year, you can begin to separate yourself from this crowded, credit card maxed out, totally stressed out world down here of people so unhappy with their life and existence, blaming everybody else for their problems. You can completely separate yourself. It's that fast. But here's where it starts, and I'm done. It all starts right there. Awareness, understanding, disassociation, changing the behavior, in other words, and reprogramming yourself to your maximum potential. Ladies and gentlemen, my wish for you is that you decide to reprogram yourself to your fullest potential, that you decide to go pro inside of our profession. It's a fact we have a better way. Let's go change the world. Everybody, take care. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.